Kendrick Lamar, I want to talk about this as well. He won 5 Grammys for his album, which was just a diss track of Drake. So I was thinking, who would I roast that I would get an award for? Like, who do I hate? Who could I talk shit about that I would win an award for? And I think I could write an album about Anya Taylor-Joy and her eyes that are separated too far.
Donnie, I beg of you. I beg of you.
I have been getting bullied by her fans for months now.
Her fans?
Yes.
She has fans?
She has a huge stan army that I was unaware of. I made a joke about, because, you know, when she's in the menu and she goes, I guess my eyes are a little bigger than my stomach. And then I just stitched it. I said, if you're blind, that's what she looks like. That's all I said. She has big eyes. Is that not the beauty standard, having big eyes and a small waist? Like, I don't understand. People act like I said she's hideous. And every day I get a new insult to my appearance that I was completely unaware of. People be like, bitch, you're balding.
Well, wait till they get a hold of Donnie, because if they're thinking you're balding, wait till they see this bitch.
Also, if they think what you said about her is bad, I truly talk shit on her every week.
Really? What don't you like about her? Just her proportion?
Yeah, it looks like someone made a sim and just stretched it too much.
I would like my silence to be noted. So once again for the Swifties, and now for the Anya Taylor-Joy fans.
Yeah.
Please leave me alone.
Well, you still didn't answer my question.
You didn't ask a question. You stated who you would have a diss track. Did you also want to loop us in, Donnie?
Yeah, this is a conversation. You're not at my TED Talk. Who would you roast on an album that you think you could win a Grammy about?
Well, you know that I do have a fluid nemesis list that I update each morning. I sit down, I have my cup of coffee, I write my gratitude list, and then I update my nemesis list. And I gotta tell you, Craig Conover from Southern Charm, he's having a resurgence. I love the Craig and Paige discourse of their breakup. Do you watch any Bravo, Madison?
No, I don't.
Okay, so I'm speaking in a different language for you, so I'll keep it brief, because also Donnie famously hates Bravo too. So once again, just me talking about things I like to people who don't care. But they are from 2 different reality shows on Bravo, and they were like Bravo's darlings. That then we had like a TGIF crossover event that they started dating each other and then appearing on each other's shows. Well, Paige has broken up with Craig. I could do a dissertation on like the expectations of men and women in society, because at first she was nothing but like complimentary of Craig, super respectful for his privacy, all these things. And then he goes and plays the victim, gets all these Bravo fans all worked up, pushes them in the direction of Paige's comment section. And little by little, each week on her podcast, she starts getting a little more petty. And there's nothing more I love in this world than a petty bitch. And I just can't wait for her to just drag him for filth inevitably in like 6 weeks. So I'd like to help her out. I could do like an intro to her inevitable blow up by writing a diss track about Craig, I don't believe in vaccines, Conover. Craig, I went live with Tommy Lahren on Instagram, Conover. Craig, what's wrong with my sewing, Conover? Fuck you, Craig.
Let Paige make the album, and you could be like Dolly Parton on Cowboy Carter. You'd be like, hey, Paige.
I feel like if I did one, it would be someone so obscure. Like there's this kid, Alexander Ronzino, who terrorized me all through school. I was the first person to leave during 9/11 from school. And when I came back the next day, he had told everyone I left to get a spray tan. But everyone found out about 9/11. So then they like accused me of not being a real American. Like I went and got a spray tan after 9/11.
I would argue there's nothing more American than getting a spray tan on 9/11.
Yeah.
But fuck that guy.
I feel like it would be about something so obscure.
No, I think that's a perfect album. But please continue. But I would buy that.
I'm enthralled.
Yeah. If I was a Grammy voter.
He would lick his elbow all the time too, and I hated it.
That's track number 3 for sure. Elbow liquor.
And in high school, I like knew this kid my entire like upbringing. He could do a Daniel Tosh impersonation.
Ugh. Even Daniel Tosh doesn't want to be Daniel Tosh.
And then he like people liked it, so he stuck with it morning announcements as Daniel Tosh.
Oh no.
Then it just became who he was.
That happened to one of my brother's friends. He used to do an Eric Cartman impression all the time until it just became his voice. And to this day, when I run into this guy, I'll see him at like 7-Eleven and I'm like, oh, hey. And he's like, hey, fuck you, Kyle. Like, that's just how he talks now. It's the most unfortunate thing.
Disgusting.
It's like when you're a kid and they're like, oh, if you do that face, it might stick that way.
Yeah.
Do that Eric Cartman impression.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Don't impersonate Daniel Tosh. I look forward to a full, speaking of Taylor Swift, just do a full Taylor Swift, 24 songs, and then just keep re-releasing those 24 songs every time someone else tries to climb the charts.
Yeah, and then we tried to be friends in college, and I stayed over at his place because his parents' house because we obviously grew up next to each other because we went to school together, and we
Nice.
were gonna go out, and we went out to like some bar or everything, and like when I came back, we all like crashed at his place, and I had my period, and I guess I got a little spot of blood on his bed,
Oh no.
and he told everyone, and he said I can't be friends with you anymore.
What?
Having my period.
Is this real?
See, that's the kind of motherfucker that rats Eve out to Jesus or whatever for eating that apple. How dare you be mad a woman had her period?
I was like in leggings and everything. It's not like I was like, it's like I knew.
Which I do that sometimes, Madison. I'm not doing it now. You don't have to call HR, but I do love a good Winnie the Pooh moment.
I thought that okay.
What?
It took me a minute. I did arrive to the Pooh Bear, but when you said I do love to do that, I was like, what? Get your period on someone's bed on purpose? Although you were famously an owner of a Diva Cup in college. So.
I did love a good Diva Cup. Now, I don't have a vagina, cuties, if you are wondering. So I use the Diva Cup as a shot glass.
That's feminine.
Yeah, thank you. I thought so. Where's my pussy hat?
Yeah, one thing about Donnie, he's a feminist icon. The fact that this man followed you and terrorized you through every stage of life.
I also love that you're America's sweetheart because we asked you to write diss tracks and you only told us about the elbow licking. Everything else was him shit talking you. So that's kind of his diss track, I think.
You don't need to write it because he insults himself by existing.
I beat the shit out of him when I was fifth grade, though, because he was making fun of I had a really bad speech impediment. Like my R's sounded like W's. And he was making fun of my speech impediment. And I had a Good Charlotte lunchbox. And I just started beating the shit out of him.
Like prison. That's incredible.
What's his name again? His full government name?
Alexander Ronzino.
Fuck you.
Such a specific name. There's probably only 2 of them in the world.
I know. He probably like works timeshare or something. He's like a very normal guy. I'm just
He's certainly not visiting the tampon section of CVS, I'll tell you that.